So how and why is the left purposely, to use a word that John Lewis used this weekend, agitating the Tea Party movement? Here to explain is Andrew Breitbart, publisher of BigGovernment.com and BigJournalism.com. Andrew, you and I have been talking about this because, just being set up. You could feel it coming, and Americans aren't buying it. But I've asked you to, and you've been doing such a great job, on your website, Big Government, of just showing all of the videotape. Can you take us through just a quick history of what we do know where any kind of violence has happened?
Well, it really started to happen after the town halls in early August that were an unexpected uprising of independents and middle Americans. It wasn't even a Tea Party congregation. It was people asking their representatives, will you read the bill? Can you tell us what's in the bill? And they weren't prepared to answer any of the questions. And on around August 5th, the AFL-CIO wrote a letter, John Sweeney wrote a letter that was picked up in the Huffington Post that said, you need to get in these people's faces. They described the Tea Parties and they described the people going to town halls as an angry mob. So there was coordination at the organized labor to become the muscle of the Obama administration. On that same exact day that that memo came out, Jim Messina from the White House said to punch back. If they punch you, punch back twice as hard. And that was the night that two incidents happened, one in Tampa and one in St. Louis at the Russ Carnahan Town Hall. The one in Tampa was the one that happened, I believe, first, where you saw a guy who was one of the protesters with his shirt ripped off by Union thugs. It was at another event that Kenneth Gladney was called the N-word by two SEIU goons. The same day that the White House said punch back twice as hard, the same day that labor said to get into this fight on behalf of the administration, because organized labor were going to be the biggest beneficiaries if this bill were to pass.
I have to tell you, I have to write these off as a coincidence, even though I told my radio audience today, change your life. For the next 30 days, don't write off anything as a coincidence. I mean, you look at the Goldman Sachs thing, and coming out the same week as reform. Well, that's weird. What a coincidence that is. There are no coincidences. The list just goes on and on and on.
Well, you want to talk about there not being coincidences. Let's just go to a week and a half ago where Richard Trumka, the current head of the AFL-CIO, the one that basically compared you to Father Coughlin and said that the people on the Tea Party side are a bunch of racists. He was the one that said that he's never seen an environment like this since before JFK was killed in 1963. And so you have Bill Clinton comparing this to a pre-Oklahoma City environment, and you have the AFL-CIO comparing this to pre-JFK.
Okay.
Those are two of the three worst tragedies of our, in the last 40 and 50 years that all Americans agree are horrific.
And I have to tell you, maybe I have my conspiracy theories wrong, because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I thought everybody like me and Tea Parties were conspiracy theorists, and I always thought it was either the CIA or the unions that killed Jack Kennedy. Isn't that the... I'm just saying, he would know. Back with Andrew.
Yeah, I don't want to impugn.
Hang on, go ahead.